Right, I've finished working my heel now, working the decreases on alternate rounds of each side, and I'm now down to 22 stitches, which is for my size of sock. You can make these to suit. I think in Anna's pattern she says she leaves the opening a little wider, so you know, experiment, see what you think. But I've taken mine all the way down to 22 stitches, and now I'm going to show you how to finish off. So I've left a tail as instructed. It's probably a little bit longer because I always figure, well, you can cut it off but you can't add it back on, can you? And I've thread up my needle, and the heel is, if I put it out like that, the heel is sort of flattened, so I've got the worked top in front of me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through each stitch as per the instructions. I'm going to take, I've thread up my needle, I'm going to take my needle through the front, from the front to the back, under both legs of one stitch, and to pull it through, and then I'm going to go to the kind of corresponding stitch at the back and go from the what would be the front of the work to the back, and work and pull through. Okay, and then I'm going to come along to the next stitch and do that, just front to back, or outside to in, as Anna has said in her pattern. Okay, and work along the edge like so, just pulling it closed. Now don't worry, because what will happen is you are going to get a peak at each edge of the sock. Don't worry about that, we're going to deal with that at the end. So just work your way along. Can be tricky to see where you've gone already, but don't worry, because all you're really sort of doing is closing the top of that sock, and it will close nice and neatly all the way along, as long as you go from the outside in. Okay, you can see that it's sort of closing, and you can't see the join at all. It's lost in the noise. All the way. Okay, so the needle's just passing under the V's of each stitch, both the V, so both legs of each stitch, all the way along. And when you get to the last two, you will see that when you pull it up, you get like these little sort of peaky bits. What we're going to do is we're going to deal with them by, I'm just going to turn, sorry, and put my fingers inside the sock. Where that yarn end is coming out and we've got that sort of slight peak there, just put your needle in through just underneath that peak, and if I bring the sock inside out and just pull it, give it a good tug, to show you now it's kind of gone, it's disappeared, and we need to very much deal with that little fella. So turning the heel through, so we're now on the inside. Gosh, isn't it lovely on the wrong side? Look at that, neat and beautiful. I'm just going to weave the yarn through down to the end, down to the opposite end of the toe, all the way down. Okay, and now I'm going to push the needle back through to the right side of the work. So turn it through there. Oh, it was going to come straight out that peak. But I'm going to just try and get it just next to the peak. Okay. Sorry, showing you nothing at all. So we're right up again next to that second peak, and what I'm going to do is push my needle back through to the other side, through the peak. Okay, so it's gone right into that peak, and I'm now turning through again, trying desperately not to stab myself. Okay, and if I give that a really good pull, again, that peak rounds off nicely. Okay, so that's just how to deal with those. So don't be concerned if you get peaks in your heels because they're very easily dealt with. You're just kind of basically pulling them through to the wrong side of the work. And then you're just going to fasten off neatly. Snip that end. I've got a couple more to sew in, but for now let's just look at what we're doing with the heel. Turn that back through. It's just lovely, isn't it? Look at this. And there we go. That is a fantastic way to make a heel of a sock. That is called an afterthought heel. And I've got myself a lovely crochet sock. Quick note on the afterthought heel. You will finish the heel of the lace sock off in exactly the same way. So I've just got to do the afterthought heel, finish the afterthought heel on this one here. But when you've got to the, when you've decreased enough, you're going to be sewing it up in exactly the same way.